Guys, we are lucky to have Precious Miura here, and she's been at the Diddy parties, and she's about to spill some secrets.
Today, just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time, we'll start to...
The narrative surrounding Diddy has taken a shocking turn that few could have predicted. For decades, he stood at the pinnacle of fame, wealth, and power, a music mogul whose name was synonymous with luxury, parties, and success. But now, the once glorious spotlight has turned harsh and unforgiving, illuminating shadows long hidden from public view. The mounting evidence against him isn't just staggering, it's astonishing. It reveals a story of a man whose empire may have been built not only on talent, but on a dark network of alleged control, manipulation, and secrets he fought to keep buried.
Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes,
new.
There already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession.
The sheer scale of what investigators have uncovered is staggering. When federal agents raided Diddy's properties in Los Angeles, Miami, and his private jet earlier this year, they weren't just searching for a smoking gun. They found an arsenal of incriminating material. Among the seized items were illegal firearms, including 3 modified rifles with defaced serial numbers and ammunition. Even more alarming, they discovered a drum magazine capable of holding dozens of rounds. These weren't forgotten relics tucked away in a dusty closet. They were allegedly part of a carefully curated collection kept readily accessible, raising unsettling questions about why Diddy believed he might need them. But the weapons were just the beginning. Investigators also unearthed a treasure trove of digital evidence. Devices confiscated from Diddy's properties allegedly contained hours of recordings and images tied to his notorious freak-off parties. According to court documents, these weren't your typical wild celebrity gatherings. They were reportedly meticulously planned and executed, with every detail, from accommodations to guest lists, carefully managed by a dedicated team. The recordings uncovered during the raids reportedly depict shocking and deeply disturbing acts. The footage provides a glimpse into events that were more than just lavish parties, revealing an underbelly of alleged exploitation, control, and secrecy that now threatens to dismantle the empire Diddy built.
Fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol and things of that nature.
Then there is the issue of the enigmatic supplies found in the haul of items seized during the raids. More than 1,000 bottles of oils and personal lubricants. Yes, you read correctly, over 1,000. Nor were these haphazardly strewn throughout his residences. They were purportedly kept in large quantities, akin to an organization's stock. This, according to the prosecution, was part of his strategy to make sure the freak-off parties were prepared for whatever he had in store. It's a disturbing fact that strengthens the already strong evidence against him.
To the latest on the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs, this one has so many people talking, the disgraced music mogul facing federal racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking charges. Both the prosecution and defense teams are set to discuss the next phase of action following the indictment as investigators work to determine potential co-conspirators. But how exactly did we get here?
But perhaps the most shocking twist in this saga is that even behind bars, Diddy appears to have maintained a tight grip on control. Federal prosecutors allege that while being held at the Brooklyn Detention Center, Diddy has been anything but idle. Incredibly, he's accused of making dozens, if not hundreds, of calls to his associates. To evade detection, he reportedly used not only his own phone line but also those of other inmates. This is where things take a darker turn. Transcripts from these calls allegedly revealed Diddy giving instructions to tie up various loose ends. In one particularly eyebrow-raising conversation, he cryptically told someone to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. If that sounds like a code for something more sinister, you're not alone. Prosecutors agree. Then there's the infamous to-do list. Among the items seized from Diddy's belongings, investigators found a handwritten list that's sending shockwaves through the courtroom. The list reportedly includes instructions for a family member to dig up dirt on two of his accusers. Picture that, sitting in jail, facing some of the most serious charges of his life, and rather than focusing on his defense, he's allegedly plotting to discredit those who are speaking out against him. This revelation has left many wondering just how far Diddy is willing to go to protect himself. Prosecutors have labeled this list a smoking gun, arguing it's clear evidence of his intent to obstruct justice and intimidate witnesses. The question now is, how deep does this alleged web of control and manipulation really go?
In fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, of engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol and things of that nature.
The sheer audacity of it all has left even seasoned legal experts stunned. It's rare for someone facing such serious charges to allegedly manipulate the case while under strict supervision, but that's exactly what Diddy is accused of doing. If the allegations are true, it's not just troubling, it's terrifying. It suggests a man who believes he's untouchable, above the rules that govern everyone else. For years, Diddy's public persona was that of a charismatic mogul, a rags-to-riches success story who built a billion-dollar empire through music, fashion, and luxury brands. He was the life of the party, a symbol of ambition and achievement, proving that dreams could come true with hard work. But now, that carefully crafted image is crumbling. In its place, a darker reality is emerging, and it's far from the inspiring legacy he once projected.
What Diddy would be throwing all his celebrity mates under the bus.
I mean, that could potentially be coming when it's time for court and when it's time for him to testify. But what we're seeing right now is how important public relations really are to Sean Combs. He's desperately trying to control the narrative behind bars, allowing his attorneys to do
Take, for example, the disturbing revelations about Diddy's infamous parties. Once the stuff of celebrity legend, attended by Hollywood's elite, these gatherings are now facing intense scrutiny. Former attendees have come forward with troubling accounts, describing events that were anything but glamorous. One former model, Precious Murr, has publicly shared her experiences, claiming that young, vulnerable guests were treated like objects for the amusement of the powerful and influential. According to Murr, these parties were meticulously curated environments designed to exploit those who didn't know better. Even more shocking, she alleged that hidden cameras were placed in private areas of Diddy's homes, including bedrooms. While Diddy's legal team has denied these claims, they add yet another layer of intrigue to an already explosive case. What's even more unsettling is the alleged culture of control within Diddy's inner circle. Investigators saying his staff played a critical role in maintaining the facade of normalcy while enabling his alleged behavior. They were responsible for styling the rooms, handling logistics, and ensuring everything appeared perfect from the outside. But behind closed doors, the reality was far darker. Prosecutors claim that not only were Diddy's staff aware of his actions, but some actively participated in covering them up. These allegations raise serious questions about how deep the complicity goes and whether more people within Diddy's orbit will soon find themselves entangled in legal trouble.
Popcorn Planet's The Interview, the series where we get in depth with amazing people, and I'm so honored to have this special guest with us here. Precious Muir, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, my love?
I'm great. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm making sure I center you a little bit more. There we go. So honored to have you here. You have some stories to tell. You've survived the white party.
And then there's the stunning development with Diddy's legal team. In a move that has sent shockwaves through legal circles, his lead defense attorney has resigned from the case. While the official reason for the resignation hasn't been disclosed, many speculate that the sheer weight of evidence against Diddy made the case impossible to defend. After all, when your client is allegedly caught on tape giving instructions to obstruct justice and the evidence fills room after room, there's only so much a lawyer can do. This rare and dramatic turn of events underscores just how dire Diddy's situation has become. The question on everyone's mind is, how did it get to this point? How did someone who seemingly had it all, fame, fortune, and family, find himself at the center of one of the most shocking scandals in recent memory? The answer may lie within the very empire he built. For years, Diddy's persona was one of excess and indulgence, a meticulously crafted image of a man who lived life on his own terms. But beneath the glitz and glamour, there were always whispers, rumors of behavior that didn't quite match the polished public image. Now those whispers have become a deafening roar, revealing a side of Diddy that many suspected, but few could ever prove.
Looks like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at
Okay.
a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the video.
What happens next is anyone's guess. With a trial looming and new evidence surfacing daily, this story is far from over. But one thing is certain, the man who once seemed untouchable now faces the fight of his life. Whether Diddy can weather this storm remains to be seen, but his legacy will never be the same. What makes this case even more compelling is its ripple effect on the entire entertainment industry. Diddy's downfall has ignited a wider conversation about power, privilege, and accountability, raising concerns about who else might be hiding similar secrets. This isn't just about one man's alleged crimes, it's about a culture that allowed them to thrive. As more details come to light, it's clear this reckoning is long overdue.
Early in the proceedings, I think it's only been about a month or a month and a half since he's been arraigned and held in detention. And so the investigations are always going to be a continuous and ongoing process. I'm sure at this point there's been an exchange of discovery. And not only that, but I think there's been a gag order placed on the attorneys with information that they can and cannot share. But more
The storm surrounding Diddy Combs grows darker and more tangled by the day. Each new revelation chips away at the once untouchable mogul's empire, now collapsing under the weight of shocking and far-reaching allegations. What started as whispers of misconduct has erupted into a decades-long scandal, implicating not only Diddy but a network of enablers and associates. It reads like a Hollywood thriller, but this time, it's real and the fallout is devastating.
So basically, I was a Playboy bunny. So a Playboy bunny representing New York State. The reason why I need to clarify this is when you're a Playboy bunny, you are part of the corporation, and you are a bunny, and you do have a title, and you wear a uniform, but you don't get a month.
Let's get into Diddy's alleged control over others, which presents a terrifying image of how power can corrupt completely. Investigators and former associates have described Diddy as a man obsessed with control, controlling his image, his empire, and even the lives of those around him. The accusations suggest something far deeper and far more sinister than simply demanding respect or being a perfectionist. Sources close to the case claim that Diddy wanted domination, not just influence, and that he used fear, manipulation, and even physical force to accomplish it.
Everyone keeps saying to me, like, how did you keep, why did you keep going? Why were you there? I'm like, it literally is around me. If I don't stay at home, this is the atmosphere I'm in. Like, I have no choice.
Take, for example, the troubling claims surrounding Diddy's former partner, Kim Porter. Kim, a model and actress, shared a complicated relationship with Diddy, with whom she had 3 children. To the public, they appeared to be the picture-perfect couple, attending glamorous events together and raising their family in luxury. But behind closed doors, rumors pointed to a much darker reality. Close friends of Kim have spoken out, alleging that she lived in constant fear of Diddy's temper and that their relationship was fraught with toxicity. One particularly shocking revelation comes from an unpublished manuscript reportedly written by Kim herself, in which she accused Diddy not only of psychological manipulation, but also of physical abuse. In one incident, she claimed he struck her so violently with a heavy object that she required immediate medical attention. Even more disturbing, it's rumored that Diddy used his wealth and influence to ensure hospital staff remained silent about the incident. But the horrors don't end there. Kim's manuscript allegedly details a web of surveillance and control that feels ripped from a spy novel. According to these claims, Diddy had her home wired with hidden devices, monitored her calls, and even hired people to track her every move. These allegations paint a picture of a man so paranoid and controlling that he couldn't tolerate even a hint of privacy within his inner circle.
Kim Porter, that is Diddy's ex, who's also the mother of his 3 of his children,
Right.
has detailed the alleged abuse that she suffered at his hands.
Oh, no.
And this is all in a memo.
Perhaps the most chilling detail of all is the alleged discovery of Kim Porter's personal journal and other private notes. Sources claim these writings contain damning accounts of Diddy's behavior and hinted at her desire to break free from his controlling grip. What makes this even more unsettling is the timing. Kim passed away in 2018, reportedly from pneumonia, but her sudden and unexpected death raised many questions. While no official foul play was ever reported, those close to her openly wondered if there was more to the story. One person who has been vocal about these suspicions is former R&B artist A.L.B. Shore, a longtime friend of Kim and the father of her eldest son. He has called for a full investigation into her death, claiming that her passing was far from natural. He believes that Kim knew too much about Diddy, his inner circle, and the secrets that could bring everything crashing down. If these allegations are true, it's easy to understand why some might have wanted to silence her. But Kim Porter isn't the only one whose life was allegedly overshadowed by Diddy's need for control. Former employees and close associates have also come forward with similar stories of intimidation and fear. According to court filings and insider accounts, Diddy created an environment where loyalty wasn't just expected, it was demanded. Those who dared to step out of line or challenge his authority reportedly faced severe consequences. One former staff member described working for Diddy as living in a constant state of anxiety, never knowing when his temper would flare. And when it did, the fallout could be brutal. There are even claims that Diddy once threw a heavy object at an assistant during a heated argument, narrowly missing their head. These stories paint a disturbing picture of a man who ruled his empire with fear and control, leaving a trail of broken people in his wake.
Really put their hands on women really is people who have men who have feminine traits. So, it really takes a coward to put his hands on a woman. So, a man is so strong enough, we can just walk away. You can do, there's so many different things that you can do other than get upset, put your hands on a woman. But that comes from a man who's not quite a grown man.
But physical aggression wasn't the only tool Diddy allegedly used to maintain control. Sources claim he also wielded financial manipulation as a means of trapping employees and associates. They were lured in with promises of wealth and success, only to find themselves ensnared in a web of dependence. By controlling their paychecks, living arrangements, and even career opportunities, Diddy allegedly kept them under his thumb. One insider described it as golden handcuffs, a life of luxury that came at the expense of true freedom. And then there were the infamous parties. Once legendary in celebrity circles, these gatherings are now being re-examined in a much darker light. Diddy's so-called white parties, known for their strict dress codes, attracted the biggest names in Hollywood, music, and sports. The events were filled with A-listers mingling with rising stars, champagne flowing freely, and a sense of endless possibility. But according to multiple accounts, these parties had a far more sinister side. Former attendees described them as meticulously staged spectacles designed to blur boundaries and push limits. One former model recalled feeling like fresh meat the moment she entered, surrounded by powerful men who saw her as nothing more than an object.
Very, very dominant. Like, he wants to control the situation. He wants to control his inner circle. He wants to make everyone have a good time and enjoy his parties. And so, it is scary because you think, this person or possibly his social network or the people he's around could make or break your career.
And then there's the unsettling matter of hidden cameras. Yes, you read that correctly, hidden cameras. Several former attendees, including Playboy bunny Precious Mirror, have claimed that certain rooms in Diddy's mansions were equipped with concealed recording devices. While high-profile homes often have security systems, the notion that cameras were placed in private areas like bedrooms raises serious questions about what was being filmed, and, more importantly, why. While there's no concrete evidence to back these allegations, the very suggestion of such behavior adds another chilling layer to an already disturbing narrative. But perhaps the most shocking allegations to emerge from these gatherings involve how young and vulnerable attendees were allegedly treated. Mirror has spoken out about the predatory atmosphere at some of these parties, describing how newcomers were often given substances to lower their inhibitions and encouraged to let their guard down. According to Mirror, this wasn't simply about partying, it was about finding those who could be manipulated. It's a chilling allegation, suggesting that these events weren't just about excess, they were about exploitation.
You say the wrong thing, or you complain, or I don't know, there's an element where you're just, I guess manipulated in a way to make you feel like, oh, you have to please everyone around you. You can't say anything wrong. You don't want to say a bad thing, or when they're constantly asking, would you like to do, and you're like, well, I don't do, and they're like, well, why don't you do?
Yet, for all the shocking claims, perhaps the most troubling aspect of this entire story is the culture of silence that enabled it to persist for so long. Sources close to Diddy's inner circle describe a code of secrecy ingrained in everyone who worked for him, from assistants to bodyguards. The rule was simple: what happens in Diddy's world stays in Diddy's world. Breaking that code wasn't just frowned upon, it was considered an act of betrayal. For those who dared to speak out, the consequences were swift and severe. One former employee shared how they were immediately blacklisted after leaving Diddy's employment, unable to find work in the industry again. So how did it all come crashing down? The answer lies in a combination of courage and timing. Over the past year, a growing number of individuals have come forward to share their stories, empowered by a cultural shift that's finally holding powerful men accountable. From former partners to employees to partygoers, the accounts paint a picture of a man whose charm and charisma masked a much darker reality. While Diddy has denied all allegations, the sheer volume of claims and the consistency of the details make them hard to dismiss.
Civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
But this story is far from over. In fact, it's only just beginning. With a trial on the horizon and more revelations expected, the world is watching as one of entertainment's most powerful figures faces the battle of his life. Will justice prevail, or will Diddy find a way to reclaim his throne? One thing is clear, the truth always has a way of surfacing, and when it does, it can change everything. The only question is how much further this saga will unfold and who else might be caught in its wake. Share your thoughts in the comments below and let us know what you think about these shocking revelations. Stay tuned for more explosive celebrity gossip.